It was a dream about creating the most credible consumer fund in our country. And when I say credible, it really has its offshoots and a lot of things that we will end up doing, and hopefully everything that we end up doing. Where we are today, we are almost 750, 800 crore fund. I'm extremely pleased with that journey. More than the capital, I think it's about the fact that as of now, each and every company that we've invested in, everyone's delivering. I haven't seen any business in the world, if they do an incompetent job or a very average job or a mediocre job, still survive and grow. And sponsors make money despite running a mediocre business. Fund management is the only business in the world where even if we do an extremely mediocre job, we'll still make money. Yeah. So if let's say Sixth Sense becomes a $1 billion fund, we'll still make our $25 million or 20, 25 or $30 million of money, irrespective of what we do to the fund. That is how the business of fund management always has been in our country, and so true in the world. This is true for the last 20, 30 years of fund management that one has seen. We have for the first time launched a 0% fund. So if we don't deliver, we will take nothing from the investors. I think that is the way I'm presuming the next generation of funds will be all about. And I think we've been able to do it for one specific reason. We had no clue of fund management before we started out. I think our reason for our limited success till now, and it's still very early journey, but has been that we knew the goalpost. We knew that all that we need to achieve is to ensure that we think like sponsors. We don't act like investors. We don't have a baggage of the past.
We're in the business of luxury watches, and it's a product that is basically completely useless. A couple of years back, everybody started to say that, who the hell is going to, wear watches and spend that kind of money on watches. It has zero functionality, especially after phones came up and everybody uses phones for everything. And especially when the Apple Watch came, everybody wrote the epitaph for luxury watches and premium watches. But the fact of the matter is that last 2 challenging years notwithstanding, over the last 10 years, we've clocked a CAGR of 28% year on year, and that's not on a very small base. Consumers start their journey in luxury purchases not really by going to a store. More than 80% of consumers actually start by researching on the net. And we've got the most powerful presence over there, not only in India, but in multi-brand retailers across the world. We've got the most powerful and the highest traffic coming in, 1.5 million visitors a month. Surprisingly, there's a huge market for pre-owned watches. We actually started the program, you can see it on our website. Early signs are very positive, but it's a huge market and opportunity that we're looking at.
They run the last mile logistics, so frankly, most important to qualify in this business is that he's among the very few survivors in that space. Food tech, as we all know, has pretty much seen the maximum collapse over the last 4 or 5 years, and Pratesh has really lived it out and done a fantastic job.
There's a lot of comfort in having Sixth Sense on the cap table. We started off as an investor relationship, and over the course of time, I often tap into Nikhil for his ability to understand the market, the trends, and actually give you advices. The way I see it, there are ecosystems that are getting built in the country. One ecosystem is the Amazon ecosystem. One is the Flipkart, Tencent ecosystem, and the third, Alibaba ecosystem. We believe that Grab will be a part of one of these ecosystems. We believe that there will be one ecosystem which will want a company like Grab which can actually serve all its main 4 or 5 pillars. Whether it's fintech, whether it's documentation, whether it's grocery delivery, whether it's food deliveries or their main bread and butter e-commerce delivery, they would want to have one logistics company which houses and caters to all the pillars. And I believe that that's where the future is going to be of Grab. And
Sunu, I think personally, and I regard him one of the finest execution guys in India. He was the founding guy of CHEP in India. CHEP is the world's largest company in pallets. He was the founding director of that 10 years back in India. And today he's beating CHEP at his own game. So Leap has become almost larger, or is larger than CHEP in India today in less than 4 years.
What is happening is Horizontal space in India is getting reduced. Everybody has to go vertical. If they have to go vertical, they have to use pallets. So from Coke to Pepsi to Unilever to P&G to Nestle, you name a company, today they are our clients. Now our GDP spend is 14% in supply chain. If anything what Mr. Modi or Nitin Gadkari is talking about, that they have to cut it down in next, the supply chain cost to 9%, 10%, that is only going to happen if you improve the TAT. Typically that can happen through only palletization. Palletization is the key to modernization in India.
AVG is one of the largest consumer supply chain companies. They do a lot of work with some of the top tier companies, including Nestle and so on. And all we needed to do was call up Nestle, and Nestle had actually seeded AVG. Nestle never does that to any company, by the way. But Nestle was actually offered them the first business as a startup. Pretty much he went on and got Nestle to come on board. And today, Nestle's 1/3 of Nestle's movement in India is handled by AVG.
So logistics is a big opportunity in India. Total market is very huge, around 3 lakh crore, including road, rail, and warehousing and storage. In the country, as of now, only AVG is having such type of vehicle where the customer can load maximum material and their per cartoon or per ton cost has reduced by 7 to 8%. किसी कंपनी में आपको रिलेशनशिप पे काम नहीं मिलता है. Logistics is a service. Even if we deliver the material on time at a right price and we give some solution to them, how to reduce the cost, how to improve the efficiency in the system, only then they will allow us to do business with them. And we are thankful to Nikhil ji, who is introducing the new customers to us and guiding us.
We found this niche that India is becoming a more and more consumer-oriented, people-oriented, choice-oriented country, and also getting healthy, getting active, trying to integrate new products into their daily diet. But every time you tell them about supplements, they're like, "Ye dawai nahi chahiye humko." We love millennials. We also love active living, and that is why I present to you Faster Now. So our objective was always about creating awareness through grassroots level activation. We are nutritional partners for 4 of the ISL and I-League teams. Officially, sports is a gateway. So for us, sports may be the starting ground, but at the end of the day, while we service the people who are playing the sport, we are eventually going to enter into the people who are watching the sport. We want to redefine supplements as not just a dawai. खाने से सब कुछ नहीं मिलता, खाने से ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है. We want to be the name, the #1 name in nutrition for active living in India. You know, the support that you get from a few people who are from the industry takes you a million miles. And I feel that is one of the best things with Sixth Sense. I mean, the team is fantabulous. I actually bother them a lot, and it's just a good learning experience with them. They come with so much of background, and it's just so good.
Having looked at consumer businesses for the last 25 years, I think if there is one business which is the toughest business to crack in consumers, it's foods.
Viraj always was a sales guy, and he always had his heart in retail, and that's what he always wanted to be, a retail company. We didn't want to be a Me Too product. That is something we knew. So what we did was we came out with a range of products which consumers were familiar with, but they were not easily available in the market, and the alternatives were only international players. Viraj is a founder. The good thing is he's great with innovation and product development. So all the new, we have about 150 SKUs in total between all our 3 segments. All development happens through him.
So like I said before, when I started out, you get a 40-year lean on a consumer, which is what Femin Hygiene does, which is what Soothe Healthcare is all about, which is Pari brand.
We manufacture, market and distribute Pari brand sanitary pads. When I quit my job five years ago to start this business, sanitary napkin penetration in India was 12%. But that's the story, right? And when Nikhil invested in us and spotted us, you know, we were doing 1 lakh a month, and now we've grown 200 times in just that much time. We have a large population. 10 years ago, this market was not there. It's very hard to change the habit of a 35, 40-year-old woman. But India, fortunately, is a very large young population, 165 million girls in the age of 10 and 24. The team, Nikhil, led by Nikhil and the team, they spotted the opportunity. They saw that when a lot of people said, "Kya sanitary pad bech rahe ho?"
You know, again, if we look at consumer businesses, consumer behavior patterns and so on, I think if there's one category which has just seen nothing happen over decades and decades, and nothing would happen for a few more decades possibly, would have been oral care. 85% of the market is with two players and pretty much dominant, stagnant, but the two players continue to grow, or no innovation really happens in that. What we thought and why we invested in the subsidiary was about a white space that we thought was getting created, which is kids oral care. There is no brand in kids oral care.
That's the code to crack. We realized which is the category which is available to us. The kid segment. What works with the kid? So we started licensing all the popular cartoon characters. We got Chhota Bheem, Pokemon, Doraemon, Peppa Pig, you name the characters, we've got them. That's the first point of attraction. We've produced products with some of them, and we've licensed and kept some of them for the next phase of launch. Now that's a space in a 12,500 crore category only at 350 crores with no major brand doing much about it.
This is a company which, what I really liked about this is that this is a company which was started by not 1, 2, 3 people. It was started by 40 people. Completely strange, right? 40 people who moved out of a global education platform and Britannica and actually set up UFS. And that was really the first thing that really caught our attention, that this is a team which is completely committed to the cause that they are at. By far the most fantastic content team that we can see in India is there in UFS. Second is about the space, the size of the business and so on. Like I was talking about feminine hygiene, right? It's a 40-year lean on a consumer. Education is a 12-year lean on a consumer. And I think it's amongst, again, very few spaces where you go broader and you go deeper. Less than 7-8 months of their existence, they already reach out to 1 million students in the country.
The question is, if you were struggling with a particular subject or a concept, right, who would you look upon to explain that to you? So imagine I am a grade 3 kid struggling with maths. I have a textbook in the classroom which is coming from anyone. There is a so-called digital content in the classroom coming from another player altogether. On top of it, when I go home, there is YouTube or a tutor or any at-home learning player, and all three of them are trying to solve the same problem, to explain that concept better. Now imagine the plight of the student, that out of the 3-4 different interventions possibly to help, coming from different players, different difficulty level, to explain the same concept. So the intent is, how can we make this entire experience single, and on top of it make it engaging, so that the kids are not doing rote learning, they are actually excelling in whichever stream they want to go.
I know Nikhil almost now 10 years now, and first time I met him, that is the time when he asked me the question. We always go by some of the best analysts, and undoubtedly, not that I know him, but undoubtedly he is India's best analyst in consumer. And whatever he has predicted in the past, whatever is predicted has come true. This is one of the fantastic, arrangement what Nikhil has done. Very rarely other people have had to do this. Because we love Nikhil, we come as a serious student and we sit here and listen to all these things, and we learn a lot. And this is a great platform. And Nikhil is not doing this for money. Money is a byproduct. His passion to consumerism, his passion to create entrepreneurs, his passion to do something big, and his passion that after him, people should remember him, generation. There was one person who did like this, created 1,300 entrepreneurs. Together they built 130 billion enterprise valuation is what he is looking at. The fact that he is making all the investors to sit and listen to the story from the heart of entrepreneurs is that putting himself on a platform to apprise him. How many fund managers are today willing to do that? He is putting his reputation here, saying that this is the money I've taken from you, this is where I invested, tell me if I've done wrong. This is amazing to do in the second year. It's amazing to do 3 years. Nobody will tell you, everybody will get your newsletter. You're invested in many companies, we get newsletter, and everything looks good. on newsletter. But here it is a reality. You can connect.
A fund said to me that yes, of course, India's consumption story is excellent, but we invest only in brands. We don't like the back end. We don't like people who manufacture the products. We like people who market it. Another gentleman, manufacturing is the easy part of the equation. Branding is where the money is. We met Nikhil, and his feedback was diametrically opposite to what we had been hearing about for such a long time. He came back and said, yes, we believe in the India consumption story. I am a FMCG specialist, but I also realize that someone will have to manufacture the products which are going to be sold in the country. He said that execution and manufacturing is not that easy. It's not that simple, and that people will gladly outsource it to a competent party just because they don't want to do it. It's difficult, you have to get your hands dirty, and it's not worth their time.
Indians in generic are very assistance driven. So in anything that we do in life, we want assistance. So if in our offices we require help around, in our homes we surely require help, and so we require it in our cars also. So if we require assistance almost everywhere. Crossroads fills that gap. So they are the AAA or AA of UK. So in 30 minutes, anywhere in the country, your car is stuck, these guys will come and help us out. This is an extremely complex job, I think, very people intensive. It really takes a lot of effort for a sponsor to really get deeper into this. But Harish has been running this and really doing a fantastic job of handling this complex network of business.
But the journey has been very interesting, right? From being a roadside assistance company, we ended up becoming a B2B partners and service provider under warranty for almost all OEM in India today. From one city, we moved to 33 cities in India. So Nikhil and team said, boss, if you want to grow, tech is the next thing. And when we were undoing our offline thing and moving towards creating this platform, believe me whatever we have learned in the last 4 or 5 years, whatever we've executed on ground, eventually help us in building this robust platform today. Motivated us to move out from RSA, roadside assistance, to a doorstep car service, SOW, to aggregation of garages.
So we as Saffron Stays are the perfect bridge between guys who are in their 40s who have probably taken this decision and have a vacation home, and people who are in their 30s who are thinking of buying a vacation home but don't find that decision to be a practical one. We are here to upgrade the whole definition of luxury in hospitality. If you look at the hospitality industry in India, everybody is questioning what is luxury. And guess what we found from our research? We found that all of us want to have an intimate space in which we can spend time with our loved ones. So here is a smarter alternative. Okay? So we are coming up with a membership plan. Here's an option that is existing in front of you where I know to buy a vacation home, I tell you don't. How many nights will you use? 7 nights? You'll use 14 nights? Just buy those from me, become a member of this club and access these homes. And what's the cost? Less than 1.4 lakhs.
We hope that we continue doing what we think we are decent at and just make completely an honest effort in whatever our endeavors are in this. We will falter. So we've not yet fallen, we've not yet faltered, but we will. We just hope that we get up faster.